Hi, I'm Streaky. This is Metropolis Mastering. Today I'm going to explain how I use a De-Esser, when I use a De-Esser and why I use a De-Esser. Okay, so I've got a track running that my old assistant Shay made. It sounded brilliant when he mixed it, but now I've added 18 dB at 4.5K, so it sounds terribly bright. But for this demonstration it should work well. What I use for de-essing is a Maselec de-esser. I find it really fast so that I can get in there. It's really smooth sound. You just can't hear it working, but it just takes the S's off, or it takes the kind of extra top end sizzle off. So I'm not going to show you how to de-ess vocals. What I'm going to show you is how I use it for sort of really stupidly tizzy hats. It's a similar vibe for vocals, but this is just sort of different technique for de-essing. So if you hear it's very bright at the moment. So what I can do is I can have this in MS mode, and then it means that it's just going to do on that side, going to do the mono information, and then this side do the stereo information, so you can see it working differently. You can link it so that it will do, so this side will sort of do both, but I like to have it in MS so that it sort of, you know, is just treating the two things separately. So you can see it takes quite a lot off, and you can't actually hear it working, which is brilliant. It sort of gets really horrible otherwise. If you go mad with it, you should be able to hear it, but you actually can't hear it on this. And I find that the same with the Maselec limiter. You can actually use that in the same way with the reduction and really get it to work like a compressor. But that's a totally different video, I think. So this is, I usually have it on quite fast. It's on a shelf going, I think internally the shelf goes from about 5K upwards. If you're on plugins, then obviously you can play around with the parameters a bit more, so you can play with it from 5 to sort of 8K, and you can also change the bandwidth on a lot of stuff, and you can usually switch it into monitor mode, like a sidechain monitor, so you can hear exactly what you're taking out, and that helps you narrow in on the frequency you want. But this is sort of a general DS, you know, Leif, who makes the Maselec stuff, knows his stuff big time, so I'm not going to argue with him, and it works every time for me. Now I've also got a Maselec multiband, which works the same way as a multiband would on plugins, or if you've got, you know, if you're fortunate enough to have a multiband like this. But I'll just show you so that what you can do is you can obviously then set your threshold a bit differently. You can also put a bit more release time on to then thicken up. If it's sort of a vocally thing, it's quite nice to thicken it out a little bit with a bit of release time, and leave a bit more of the attack, so it doesn't sound so especially if it's a sibilant vocal, if you go in too hard on it, then it can make it sound lispy, so you really don't want to do that. And I can obviously change the ratios and add a little bit more top at the end afterwards. So that's kind of how I another little trick on how I play around with the top end to make it sound less tizzy and annoying. You know, you have to play with it. Every track's different, but it works for me. So thanks for watching. That's about all I know about de-essing, kind of. I hope it helps. Hope you can find some use for using one. And please leave some comments. Please ask me any questions you've got. And please subscribe. I need subscribers. Thank you. Bye.